So we will discuss about list data type today, and from zero level. So you should not face any issue. Whenever you get stuck, please let me know.
Okay.
So let me write some theoretical stuff before moving forward. For Anita, this is class 4, but for Keshav it is class 5. So I will keep it as class 5 only.
Okay.
So list are the like data types which contain the different, we call it actually homogeneous data type. Data types, homogeneous means, sorry, heterogeneous, it should be heterogeneous, means any type of data. Let me correct it. Like example, it can contain string, numbers, booleans, etc. What is the syntax? Even I can write these all stuff in Jupyter notebook only. Just give me a minute. Let me open the previous file. So basically this file will contain all the data. So you don't need to go for different files, just see the headings and you will see lots of stuff is there. Okay. So lists. These contain heterogeneous data type. Like different data types. And what are the properties of list? Properties of lists are: number one, allow duplicates, means you can have a duplicate data. Changeable, you can change the list anytime. However, if you remember, string was not changeable once you define a string, so you cannot change in that. Third one is what we call it, ordered. Ordered we will let you know later, but let's understand one by one. And you can mention what is the syntax for that one? Syntax is mention any variable type, variable name equal to square bracket, and mention data here in the square brackets. Data. Let's run the examples. So let's say I have data1 is equal to, I say here, or you can say, you can put the meaningful name, numbers equal to 1, any numbers. So this is the list. You can say strings equal to, in the quotes, all data of string comes in the quotes. You can have bools as well. You can put any variable names. I am putting the variable name meaningful. So you can put ABC, but best to put good variable names. True and false. If you see here, what I am doing here, I am typing similar type of data. If I say here print numbers, and then again I say string, rules, so you will get the same result. Okay.
Yep.
Now what we will do, it allows duplicate. Means what does that mean actually? Allow duplicates. So let's say I have a string here, data list here, data 1, so I mention numbers here. So if you see here, I have mentioned few numbers duplicates deliberately. So if I say here data 1, so you will see all these numbers duplicated. 22 is here, 22 is here, 43 is here, 43 is here. So it means it allows duplicate string list, sorry. Which data type does not allow duplicate? Which data type does not allow duplicates? So its name is sets. In sets, you cannot keep the duplicate data. However, you can define the duplicate data, but when you will do the print statement, it will give you the error. Like not error, sorry, it will not show that data. Let's say set1 is equal to, in the quotes, same, you copy the same stuff here. So remember, sets bracket starts from in curly braces. If I say print set, so you will see only unique data here. See, and we discussed about what we call it, ordered list. Ordered list means whatever the data we store, whatever the data we mention in the list, we get in the same order. So if you remember, we mentioned 1243 in the same sequence, right here. So we are getting in the same sequence, and which is unordered, So if you see, sets are unordered. How? If you compare the output, then you will understand. So we defined a long list of sets, but when we printed the data, so data came in any format. See here, data came in any format. It's not like that. However, it has omitted 23 and 43, but still 54, 76. It is showing 87 here. Okay, so sets are unordered.
What is the purpose of having a set?
In the sets, you can have unique values. Means when you require only unique values, and you will be using sets only.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mentioned last one is changeable. Changeable means, so if let's take example, lists are changeable, right? Lists are changeable. So if I say numbers here, so I see list of numbers. It is equivalent to print. Remember this thing I told you in the last classes. So I can mention again numbers equal to, or you can append actually direct numbers equal to, or you can add one more stuff here. So it's possible, means you can change the data. You can add, instead of 87, you can add 96 here. Then you can print number here, numbers. So you can see 96. So you are changing the existing list. And then a question comes, which is not changeable, which is not changeable. Although we are aware about string, but in these data types, tuple is not changeable. Once you define its tuple, so you cannot change its elements. So we can say tuple stores read-only data types. Okay. Now, how to calculate the list length? How to check the list length? There is one function, len function. You can simply mention len and then in the bracket numbers. So it will give you the count of the numbers. So 6 is the value, total value. So remember, len just tell you the total number of elements. Don't get confused with index. Okay, it will give us the count of the total number of elements from the list. This len function can be used anywhere. It can be used in tuple as well. tuple, dictionary, not in dictionary, sets, anywhere. Okay. So let's move further now. How to check the data types? How to check the data types? So suppose I have numbers list. I want to see the type of this. So I will use type command. So I will say type and then number. So it will show me the list data type, right? Remember this thing. Since we are saying list is the collection of heterogeneous data type, but we are just using homogeneous data type. So you can create the list data2 is equal to combo so if I print data2, so and then I say type data, still it will be the part of list. Means basically what I am telling you here, you can store different data types in list. So it's not like that you will store numbers only, strings only, you can store any data type. Now important part is, if you remember typecasting, what we do in typecasting to convert one data type into another, like we have a num1 is equal to 10. If I want to convert it into float, I can mention float num1 and I print so num2 here, so it's a 10 value, 10.0 value, so it's a float data type. Same works for string as well, sorry, list as well. So let's say you have one list here. So if I say data3 is equal to, I have this data hi, and then I say hello. Okay, so if I see this, if you remember tuple, it is a data type of tuple because it starts with smaller brackets. In the last classes we discussed basic syntax of tuple, sets, dictionary, list. So tuple starts with smaller brackets. If I say here print data3 and I see type here typ, so you can see it's a tuple or tuple, whatever you say. Now we will do typecasting here, typecasting to convert tuple into list. So how I will do, I will say data4 is equal to list, and then I will say data3 here, and I print data4 here. So if you see here, data4 is of list data type. You can understand from square brackets as well. So this is similar to you. You are doing typecasting of larger data types. Earlier we were doing just for numbers. So by the help of this one, you can do the typecasting of these data types. Any issues? Understood?
It's just one question, because you mentioned there are different data types like a list and tuples, right? And of course, one is like
Dictionary.
yeah, dictionary also. But I'm just trying to understand, like how do you know, and like when you're writing a program or something, how do you know which data type to use? Like, do you use? Is there a preference over one over the other, or you can use either one?
Yes, yes, yes. So let me write here something. So first understand the properties of the data types. We have
Okay.
tuple, sets,
Uh-huh.
dictionary, and string. String you can ignore, string just like a string.
Yeah.
So we discussed about the properties. It allow duplicates. Changeable means you can change values, and
Yep.
ordered.
Yeah.
List is does it allow duplicates.
Okay.
Non-changeable,
Okay.
ordered, does not allow duplicates. Non-changeable, unordered. and then dictionary key value pair. Key value pair. So what
Okay.
happens here? Tuple you will be using when you don't want to change the values. When you don't want to change the values.
Okay.
Example is, let's say we are in India, so we have most probably we call it actually Aadhaar card details. So Aadhaar card, so it
Mhm.
contains it usually happens in other countries like gender change, but here usually it is fixed. However, India is also growing, so gender is mostly fixed. Okay,
Mhm.
non-changeable. Apart from that, Aadhaar number and photo inside Aadhaar is always fixed,
Okay. Mhm.
so that cannot be changed. Okay, so those type of data, Aadhaar numbers can be stored inside tuple. Getting my point? So
Yes. Yeah.
because we don't want to change those.
Correct.
And if we talk about sets, so if we don't want any, what we call it actually, unique values, and we want only unique values, let's say employee ID of the company, then we can store that data into sets because it does not allow duplicates.
Mhm.
Dictionary, it contains key value pair. It will mostly used because it's a replacement of JSON objects. If you are not aware about, so I will give you example. So let's say I have data 5 is equal to, I am just mentioning here, so you can mention like a name and then colon, then you will say, let's say Python here, then after that you will say age is should also be in the brackets, sports option actually 33. So what is happening here, you have key and value here, you have key and value here. Similar structure is of JSON objects. Okay, so dictionary is an alternative of JSON data type. So in Python you will be mostly using two data types, lists and dictionary, most of the time whenever you will be making the great programs like your industry as well, so you will be using these data types. Okay,
Hey, I'm sorry. Question. When you say JSON, are you referring to that MongoDB thing? Like
JSON and
because
dictionary is same type of what we call it, same type of structure. I will tell you. If you say a JSON also contains key value pair. Let's see.
okay,
So that's why
because
I'm
I've seen it in MongoDB.
here.
Yeah.
So if you see here, this side,
Okay, JSON.
so this is similar to
Okay.
dictionary. You understand this one because in dictionary also we mention same format. But JSON is currently used like
Oh,
whenever you are creating the logs of the applications. So JSON is currently used there. You
okay.
mostly also use, I think, JSON object.
So how do you use this? Like in this case, right? This example.
So in that case, you will not be using, just I am comparing JSON with dictionary. However, dictionary is more bigger than this one. I mean, JSON is just a JSON sample file, but dictionary in itself is a big data type. In dictionary, you can perform lots of operations. Once we cover dictionary, then you will understand the differences. Okay.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So let's move on further. How to access list elements, we will discuss now. How to access list elements. If you remember, we did string slicing here, so it will work in same way list slicing, but now we are having list in these type of formats. So let's say numbers here. So we have these numbers. If I want to access 54, now what should I write here? I will say print numbers, and in the square bracket, what I will mention here, I need to mention index value. So what is the index value of 54, Keshav?
2.
2, 0, 1, 2. So I'll mention 2 here, so I will get 54. Okay. So same, this is just to get the one element. If I want to get range of indexing, or to get number of elements, or elements actually. So let's say I want to get these elements. 54, 76, 87. So what should I mention, Anita, here in the square brackets?
So so it will be from 2 colon 1 second 0 1 2 3 4 5. So 0 to 2 to 4.
It will give only
Right.
I want 3 elements actually. Okay. So if you remember, to get 3 elements, this is at
Oh yeah.
index, but we will do plus 1 if you remember. This is at 4th index, so we'll do plus 1. So that's why I did 5 here, because how many elements it will print?
It will print 3 elements, and it's going to be 5 minus 1
Yes,
4. Yes.
5 minus 2, yeah. 5
Yeah.
minus 2 equal to 3 elements.
3 elements. Yeah.
How to print the last element? So I will simply mention print numbers and then minus 1. It will give me the last element 96. You can also work upon range of indexing. What will be the output of this one? If I mention 4 colon numbers here, numbers. If I mention 4 colon here, so what will be the output? Any idea?
87 and 96.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Yeah. Because when we leave the indexing unattended, so by default it goes to the last, and same here. So if I mention here print numbers, I mention initial indexing nothing, and I mention 3 here, so it will print up to 0 to 3, means 3 elements it will print. Which 3 elements? 0, 43, 54.
Yes.
Sorry, 12, 43. No 0 is there, minus 2. So now what will be the output of this one? Print numbers. Let me first print the string here, otherwise you will not be able to see. If I say print numbers, I say square bracket minus 4 colon minus 1. So what should be the output? Let me make it easy for you if you get confused. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6. So what should be the output?
54 7. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
If I mention minus 4 to minus 1, first we need to understand how many elements it will print. So it will print 4 minus 1. So
Yeah.
4 minus 1 it will print. So it will print 3 elements. Which 3 elements? Now question is which 3 elements? So starting from lower index. So what is lower index now? So lower index is here 4. Okay, minus 4 actually. So which you can count the 3 elements from here. These 3 elements will be printed. Clear?
Yes. I'm sorry, one question. So the first question, like when we are doing slicing, right? So as you mentioned, first we need to check how many elements and then do it based on the index, right? So that should be the key thing, how many elements it will print.
Yeah, how many elements, like upper minus lower, and from which, like which elements? So starting from lower index it will print.
Okay. That's the key. Okay. I think I'm good.
Perfect. How to change the list elements, or we can say update the elements. So you can simply use a equal to operator. By using equal to means assignment, we call it assignment operator actually. Assignment operator. You can change the value. How? Same example, numbers, we are having these numbers. What I want to, let's say, replace the value. So 87 I want to replace with 97, this one. Okay, to replace 87 with 97. So what I will do here, I will mention if how first we need to understand how to print 87 because we did just indexing on the top. So I will mention here numbers and then -4. Oh, it's not there. Sorry. Do in positive one. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just mention 4 here. So you will get 87.
Yeah.
Now just assign the value like equal to whatever the new value you are having, this one, and just print the numbers now. So you can see the updated list. So by the help of assignment operator and using the indexing, you can change the values. Any confusion here, or you want to ask anything?
No.
No. Mhm.
You can change the range of numbers as well. You can change the range of numbers. Means instead of one element, we want to change multiple elements in one go. How? I want to change this one 43, 54, 76 in one go. So I'll mention numbers. I should be aware about a range here. So it starts from 1, 2, 3. So what I will mention here 1, 4 because I need to print 3 elements. If you see here, so it is giving me these elements. I want to change these elements to which elements? So I will mention here 44, 55, and then 77. If I print numbers here, so these elements should get changed. Clear?
Yes. Yep.
Key point is that we are taking 4 here because we do 4 minus 1, we need to print the 3 elements. Or you can understand in that way, fourth index value never gets printed. Means in the right side upper index value never gets printed. Before that it will print like 1, 2, 3 index values only. There are lots of ways to remember this one, but always remember +1. You have to do +1 into the index to print those values. Now what happens if you insert more item than you replace? What happens? So let's say I have a list here, or we can call it data 6 is equal to, I have a list here Python, C, and then C++, Java, then I have .NET here, then Ruby. These are programming language actually. So if I want to change, let's say I want to I mention here 1:2, and then I equal to, I mention 2 elements here. So I mention here like what we call it PHP in the course always PHP, and then I mention here Go. Go is another language. So what is happening here? If you see, if I print 1:2, what should be the output of this one? Anita?
So C is getting replaced by PHP and C++. Yeah, I mean one. So it should be Python, PHP, right?
It should be Python, PHP. What about this Go?
What about the Go?
So
The Go will not.
Go will get changed. Go will also be there, but it will eat this item. What does that mean? So it will take its place. Hey, I am in the list, so I must go inside it. But since we just added one element here, so what will happen here? So PHP will go at C place and C++
Yeah.
will be replaced by Go. Sorry, my mistake. Go will be added here. It will be
Okay.
considered as a like PHP will take 2 arguments. I will give another example to understand it if you have any confusion. Just give me a minute. Did I do some mistake or something? I was expecting banana, this go C++ should go out. Let me take another example. It usually happens. Did I miss something in printing the data or something? So let's take another example. Data 7 is equal to, or let's fruits are there.
Yeah.
Apple, banana, cherry. Then we have any other fruits, no problem. And now what we will do, we will add few elements here by mistake, fruits, and I mentioned 1 colon 2. It means I want to change banana with these elements. I mentioned here orange. I mentioned this here as a jackfruit. Okay. So what will happen here now? If I say fruits here, so banana will be replaced by orange. Banana will be replaced by orange. Also, jackfruit will be added here, but instead of this one. There's a big confusion in those, right? What do you think? Is it clear?
Actually, one question over here, right? So now in this case, it's 1 colon 2. That means it's only going to replace one element, right? Because it's always the stop minus the start, right? So it's actually replacing only the first element. So this jackfruit is just being added over there. It's not replacing anything, but it's just appending to that list.
Yeah, same happened here as well. PHP and Go both were added.
Uh-huh.
PHP and Go both were added here.
Okay.
So what is happening here in case of this thing, you forget like, or you miss something, like you just thought like 1 colon 2 will replace 2 elements. So this is not correct.
Mhm.
Okay. What happens if you use more indexing but less element, or we can say opposite of this one, same program here. So what is a new list? Now we are having fruits list, this one, but this time what will happen if I say fruits and then I mention 1 colon 3, I want to replace 2 element, but I mention only one here. I mention here papaya. So what should be the output now? What do you think?
One.
Keshav, any idea?
Papaya will be added or papaya will be replaced?
No. You are adding here. So what happens here? If you see here, how many elements it should print if I run 1 colon 3? So it will print 2 elements. Which
Yeah.
2 elements? It will print orange and jackfruit. But
Yeah.
what happened here? It will, papaya will replace both ones. Means output will be apple,
Papaya and cherry.
cherry,
Okay.
like this.
Mhm.
So what you understood here, whenever you are using less elements and using more space here, indexing here, so indexing space will be fully occupied with only that element. Means and rest of the stuff will get omitted. But in case of when you are using more elements and less indexing, then that more element will be added into the list. Is this clear?
Yes.
How to insert the element into list? How to insert the elements into the list? So you will use insert keyword. How it works? It requires indexing position. Indexing position means at which index you want to insert the element, and value to be inserted. Value to be inserted. Let's go to our programming language. I can I can copy that programming one. Data 6 into progs. Let's say progs is equal to, this is my variable name. I mentioned data 6 here. So now I will use progs only. Okay. Now what happens? I want to insert one more element after go. Case is insert one more element after go. Okay, so first understand go is at which position. So go is at second position, 0 1 2. So what I will mention here, I will say prox dot insert, then second position, which what needs to be inserted. I need to insert what we call it, Scala. So if I print prox here, so this there will be one more element there. Something is missing. Okay, insert, it should be insert. So Scala got added at second position.
Okay.
It is there. I was saying after go, but it should be at second position. So remember, by the help of this indexing here. So
Mhm.
second position will be occupied by Scala, means index position.
Okay.
Now how to add the elements? To add elements into list. So we have lots of methods for that one. One method is called append method, another is called insert method, third is called add, what we call it, extend method. So we have three methods: insert method, append method, extend method. Let's discuss one by one. What is the difference? Insert, append, extend. So it is clear, it will be clear from syntax only. So you insert, you are aware about how we did in the last one. So it requires two parameters, like it will say index number and then value. Here append, data will be added at the end of the list. Data will be added at the end of the list. Extend method, it is used to copy the data actually, what we call it actually, to append the elements from another list into current list. To append the elements into, or we can call it from another list into current list. Let's understand one by one. So if you use append method here, let's say I have the list of programming's procs data here. So I want to append one more element, or insert you have already seen. So in case of append, what happened? It will add in the last. It will add the elements in the last. How it works? So you simply mention procs dot append and then element. Let's say element is what we call it. Criteria. These are some terms for mechanical engineering tools actually. So if I run procs here, so after Ruby CATIA will be added. Clear? So append will always be adding the elements in the last. Next method is extend method. Extend
Just one quick question. So in append, you're not specifying the index, right?
because
So only.
it will automatically be adding in the last. Append means add in the last.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Extend method means you want to copy. You want to copy the elements from one list into another. Let's say two lists are there, go into the shorter list, numbers list we are having, and then we are having data 6. So what I want to do, I want to copy the elements. Let's say we have numbers list. I will do print here, print numbers, then print program procs. So I have two lists now. What I want to do now, I want to copy the elements of procs list into numbers list. So what I will do, numbers dot extend then procs if I run numbers here, so you will see lots of elements are there. If you do vice versa means if you say procs dot numbers and then sorry extend procs dot extend and then numbers, what will happen? Procs will have a very long list now. So basically remember one thing, this is your main list in which you want to copy the elements of the existing current list. Means numbers will be the, you are extending the numbers list here. So that's why you see lots of elements here. But if I do opposite of that one, then procs list will get increased. So see, these are the procs elements now. Is this clear how to copy the elements from one list to another?
Actually, not for me. Sorry, I'm still not getting what you did for the extend. Maybe, I don't know, I didn't follow that.
No problem. No, I will tell you again. Don't worry. So
Thanks.
what happens here? Extend means you want to copy the elements of one list into another, or you can say you want to up, what we call it actually. You want to add the elements into another. Let me give you small examples rather than this one. So I say nums here. Nums is equal to only 3 numbers are there. So, and then you have and fruits. So it has 2 fruits only. What I want to extend this list. Extend means I want to increase this list. Understand in that way. Nums I want to extend. But from where you want to copy the element? I want to copy the elements from another list. What is the name of another list? Fruits. So if
Okay.
items of fruit nums now, so these will be 5 items now. Clear?
So extend is basically copying one list into the other then, right?
Yes. Same I have written here. If you see here.
Okay.
To append the elements from another list into the current list. Append why
Okay.
here means it adds the element in the last.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. So add any, then what you can do, you can add multiple elements. Okay, there's one more important part is that is called nested list. Nested lists. What does that mean? List within the list. Example, let's take the same list and I will give you another name here. Data 9 is equal to, I have this list and then I have another list here and it contains programming Java, C, also I will have to mention the code. C, Python. So if I need to access C from the list, how will I access? Print data 9. So this is a list. I will mention small heading here. To access the elements into nested list from nested list. So what I will do here, I will have to use 2 square brackets.
Yeah.
9, 1 for first list. So first list we understand 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this nested list at 4th indexed. So I will use 4 here. I will close this bracket here now. I will say another bracket here. Now I'll mention inside this list 0, 1. So I will mention 1 here. something is wrong. Okay, I will have to mention in another one actually. So now if I run it, I will get C as an output. Any doubts, any queries?
Yeah, this is okay. Yep.
You can do in multiple ways. Let's say I copy this one. Instead of data 9, I mentioned data 10 here. And further, I have another list now. Good morning, good night. What happens in that case? I will say print data 10. I mentioned first list. So first list at fourth position, and then second list at second position, and then last element is at, let's say good morning, I want to say 0th position. It will give error. No. So it depends upon how much complex list you are having. So you need to use multiple square brackets. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So I think you must have got tired because it requires lots of efforts to remember all these stuff. I will stop list here. We will continue list from tomorrow onwards, and it will get completed tomorrow. Okay. The thing I expect from you guys, please do lots of practice. As I always say, Python is very easy to learn and most easy to forget. Okay.
I'm sorry, can I ask you one quick question? Now that I said okay to it, but so line number 47, right? So that 47, when you look at that Java thing, right? Is it looking at the outer list first? How does it look like? Java to Cherry, is that?
Okay, so understand this one. First,
Yeah.
it will go to the complete list.
Yeah.
So fourth position, it goes to this list again. It is at fourth position now. Okay. Then within this list, we have another nested element, right? Which is at second position. So it prints the second position here. And then another we have two elements, 0 and 1 position. So we have mentioned 0. We want to print good morning. Or you can take another example, same example, but let's say you want to print good night. So how
Yeah.
do you do that? First, you will understand list or how many elements are there, or nested lists at which position. So nested list it at fourth position, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So first you will print 4. So if I say
Okay.
here print data 10 and then square bracket 4, so it will, what it will do, it will print this nested list from here to here. Okay.
Correct.
So we got this. Now from this list, we need to print this list, right? So this is at which position? So if I say print data 4, data 10 and then 4, then it is at second position, right?
Yeah.
1, 2. So it is at second position. So it will print good morning, good night now. Now from here you need good morning, or let's say you need good night. So what you will say, print data 10 and then 4 and then 2 and then good night is at one position, right?
What's it?
So it will print good night too.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. One more question, please. Since you mentioned about practice, right? Can you refer us to a site or something which has more, or just how do you suggest, like just randomly look at examples and do it, or?
So what you can do,
Uh-huh.
I will give you the link. Even I can mention directly here. Right. So, okay, this is not with the list. I think this is giving multiple choice question. What is the name of that site? Why need to, I think. Refer this link.
Okay.
I will write in assignment section as well.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Okay then. Any other
Okay.
question?
Yeah, this is good for now. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, Keshav, all well?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We will connect tomorrow sharp at 8. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.